Hello, it's KB, and I love movies. Happy Friday. If this is your weekend, I'm happy for you because these days get long, man. These work days get long. If it's not, you work on the weekends, whatever. Hey, come and chill out with us for a little while. That's how I see it. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome. We have a first-time guest here joining us tonight. I feel like I want to introduce him to people who don't know him in the community. Get to know that laugh because it is infectious. And this man's videos, his IG stories. I was telling the evil Tyrone last week. It's like when you see the passion in his face, it just makes you smile. This man loves zombie movies. That's all I'm gonna say. He loves zombie movies, and when he talks about them, that face comes on. We got my man Tommie. You may know him as Black Horror Survival. What's up, my man?
What's happening, KB?
We need this kind of energy tonight, sir. For real, for real.
Yes.
I am so happy to have you on.
Fantastic.
We are not alone. We got Lando here, fresh from the salon, got his cut going on.
Oh yeah, that Friday cut.
Yeah, he got that. I just got paid Johnny Gill cut. I got money in my pocket. Go ahead, give me the shade and that blue stuff. Put it on the back of my neck so it burns. All the extras.
Yes.
All the extras. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you tonight for sure.
Thank you so much for having me, KB. I appreciate it so much.
No doubt. If you hear snoring in the back, that's my other baby back there. She's just like chilling. We got Ahsoka in the back. We got Lando in the front. You know how we do Star Wars. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna like hang out. We got some people in the chat hanging out as well. Let's see who's joining us up front. We got Adrian James saying, "How's it going? How's it going with you, sir?"
How you doing, Adrian?
We got Mika in the house. I know you know Mika. She was telling me how she's so looking forward to having you on because, like I said, we need that energy. Look at that!
I love Mika.
Jacket. Yeah, we got love for the twins. That's for sure. All right, who else is joining us? We got Jeff in the house saying good evening. Good evening.
What's happening, Jeff?
We got Michael. Hello.
Yes. What's going on, Michael?
We got the one and only Jay Stu. We live, baby.
Woo! What's happening?
Up, Jay Stu? Yeah, man, you got to. I love that energy. You know who else brings crazy energy too? Crazy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with dude.
He just sent me he just texted me just now.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a joker, man.
I love him, man. He's real cool, man.
Yeah,
real cool.
He's real good people, but hard to catch up with. Man, I can't catch up with him. Yeah. But it's authentic. It's authentic laugh for sure. Yeah, we love Tommie's laugh for sure. What's up, Laren? Thanks for hanging out with us.
Laren, what's happening?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Orlando got his washing set, man, all day at the salon. He looking good.
Right.
Luxurious. He got that Cat Williams going on. People saying hi to each other. Talk about the man.
That's cool.
We got Tyrone in the house, the evil one.
Tyrone, what's up, brother?
And of course, we have Miss Jaleesa. Thank you for checking in.
What's happening?
Appreciate you all being here. We got my man Culture Trini in the house. Salute, my dude.
What's happening, brother?
Trini, did you pick up anything on that Criterion flash sale? Hit me up. Let me know. I got my box today. That Instagram story was fun to put together, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Since this is my man's first time here, what we're going to do is we're going to run him through the gamut of the 5 takes. As anyone that has been watching for 20 days solid, I am doing 31 conversations in 31 days, and we're up to day 20. God bless, man.
Yo.
That's all I got to say.
That's a big deal.
Thank you for all the guests. Thank you for everybody on the check-in, the replays, the chat. Y'all keeping it going. It's not me anymore. This is like a well-oiled machine at this point. So
Yo, man,
you all.
KB. Hey, I just want to say, man, I appreciate everything that you're doing, man. Listen, when I got the the invite to come here, especially having seen everybody else you've had, I'm like, yo, I got some big shoes to fill, man.
Nah,
So,
nah. You good. You good. You family. You good. So I want you guys to get to know Tommie. So before we get to the 5, which is pretty much a remix for the spooky season of my 5 takes, the 5 questions I ask at the end of every conversation, we're going to do a little 5 before the 5.
Woo!
5 questions that we could hopefully get to know Tommie with. So I got to get to my questions here because this is not even spooky season questions. This is stuff that I had before.
Bring them on.
All right. We always like to start with a non-movie question. So the non-movie one, I know you're a married man.
Yep.
So how long have you and the missus been together?
Yeah. What, together or married?
Both.
Oh, okay. Married for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
Married for 14 years, 14 happy years.
Amen.
At least on my side. At least on my side. Let me see. But gosh, y'all, I met my wife in Chi-Town. Right now we live in right outside Detroit, and which is where I'm from. And we met in Chicago back in 2006. I think it was 2006. And yeah, man, we met kind of like at a job kind of like deal kind of thing. And I saw her and I was like, that's that. I will be a fool if I sit here and walk past this woman. Like I knew she was the one. Yeah, man. And I exposed everything, KB, y'all. Like, y'all, I told her who I was up front. I showed her all of my oddities.
Did you show her the collection? That's what we want to know.
I was like, because I really like her. And I was like, you know what? I don't want her to find out 6 months into it that one of my favorite, movies is The Exorcist or something like that. So I'm like, let me come forward now. so if this is too much, but yo, man, I showed her everything about me, let her know what I like, kind of movies I like, and all of my little nuances about stuff.
Idiosyncrasies.
Right. And she's still stuck in there. When she's still stuck in there, I was like, yo, this is it.
She the one.
The one, yeah.
And if I got it right, you proposed on Valentine's Day or you got married?
That's a good question. Yeah. So I proposed on Valentine's Day 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Proposed on Valentine's Day. I was so nervous, y'all. Well, you know what? No, it wasn't. I wasn't nervous. Let me stop. I wasn't nervous. Now people be like, "Oh, I was nervous." I wasn't nervous because I knew that this was something that I had to do, that I wanted to do.
Right.
If anything, I was nervous that I was taking too long because I could kind of tell that she was kind of like, like looking at her watch, how long, how long we just gonna keep, smiling at each other. So, but yeah, man, and I did the engagement thing, got on the one. So, all right, y'all, look. So this I did. So like I had the roses and I put like little rose petals, like we were staying in apartments, but we wanted to do it, the right way. So we were living in separate apartments, and so I put the little rose petals down the steps leading to like my apartment. She followed them and whatnot. It was all right. It was cool, man. I did my thing.
Nice. See? We still believe in romance.
Yeah.
Oh man, if she saw the collection and she didn't run away, she's a real one.
Yo, man,
she's a real one.
Yes.
So, the name. How did you come up with the name? Because, needless to say, like I told you before, it's an attention getter. And if you know your horror movies, you're like, okay, black, white, whatever color you are, you're like, I can't front. That's true. They never survive. I could count on my left hand the amount of times the brother survived. Or the black girl survived.
Yes.
So how did you come up with the name?
Oh man, y'all. So I am big into 80s horror movies, y'all. Like 80s. It's the 80s with me. It's the 80s with me. I like the new stuff. Yeah. But it's the 80s with me. And in the 80s, like y'all already know, black folk, didn't, fare too well in the 80s movies. But there was one movie I had in mind when I thought about, like, before I even got on like Instagram, my wife was like, well, what you gonna call yourself? I'm like, Tommie, that's my name. And she was like, you should come up with something. So I was like, well, okay. And when we were having that conversation, I was literally watching Return of the Living Dead.
Oh,
and I was like, yeah.
Okay.
And
I thought it was
already
know. The Demons.
I was watching Return of the Living Dead when I thought about so I know you think about like Raj from 1992s, but can't forget about Spider. Can't forget about Spider. So I was watching Return of the Living Dead, and I was like, you know what? And it dawned on me as I was getting like toward the end of the movie, and like, like Spider was kind of taking control of the whole situation. And I was like, I was like, he would have survived that if. And I was like, wait a minute. And I had that little light come on in my head. I was like, wait a minute, survive? Well, I'm black. I like horror movies. I'll put the words together, man. I was like, black horror survivor. Let's see who. So
and that's the thing. You got to check. Make sure nobody else rocking that name.
I know.
Or something stupid.
I know. I know, man. I did. I was like, let me see. But yeah, man, black horror survivor. And I mean, it's stuck. I even got a little plate. Can y'all see that, y'all? It's like a little black horror survivor plate.
Love it.
My father-in-law got that for me. So I let y'all know just how well I did with my wife. My father-in-law got me that one.
That shows you're in. When he gets you gifts that cater
right
to your hobbies and whatnot.
Exactly. Yep.
I got more questions, but let me check in with the chat. I saw some other people pop in.
Okay.
I love that you're loving the conversations. I love that you help promote them. Thank you. Love good film talk, even if I don't always agree. It's art. You can't always agree.
Absolutely.
This is totally subjective. Can't be objective at all.
Absolutely.
My sweetheart is in the house. Hello, my darling. We got Draculina Horror in here.
Draculina,
Yeah. Gotta have good names, man. Yeah, more Michigan love. That's right, Jeff. Last night we had Lisa. She's in Michigan. We had Ken Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror. He's in Michigan. He's in Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
He's in the set. And now we got Tommie, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Detroit, man. We represent. We got the Anita Baker. So we gotta come with it.
The question that I'm sure you've gotten before. How close to 8 Mile are you? He outside of Detroit. He ain't in Detroit.
Yeah, but you know what, though? That's a good question. So a lot of people. So I was brought up in Detroit proper, like Detroit proper, like Detroit, the city Detroit. Yeah. And so they do it by miles, y'all, which I'm sure y'all already know. So like I lived on 6 Mile, and the whole movie, with Eminem on dang, what was the name of that movie?
8 Mile.
8 Mile.
That's where he's from.
Yeah, and so there's like you go like up the miles, and you go up the miles, and the higher up the miles you go, the farther away from Detroit you go. So if you like on like once you cross 8 Mile, 8 Mile is pretty much like the dividing line. If you like 8 Mile or less, that's Detroit.
Yeah.
If you across 8 Mile, like 8 Mile, 9, 10, blah, blah, blah.
Suburbs.
You're in the suburbs.
Yeah. You're heading out to Auburn Hills.
Yeah.
You're getting fancy.
I know, man. We were back in high school, y'all. Listen, we back in high school. People used to be like, well, what mile you live on? And it was all about what mile you lived on. And so every mile had its own reputation. So, if you said 7 Mile, people were like, so back up. I'm from 7 Miles. Everybody kind of like, was like, gave you respect. So, yeah, man.
It's that proximity.
Exactly.
How hard you are.
Exactly.
Couple comments about that first question. Valentine's Day, that's great.
Yes.
If they love horror, they're a keeper. Yeah. Another thing, Tommie is a 365 horror lover, so he's talking zombies in the summertime, you know, not Jaws. So
yo, and it took a minute for my wife. It took a minute for my wife because my wife was so not into horror movies before we got together and all that kind of good stuff.
yeah,
And so the first date, I was like, let me just keep it real. Let me not take her to go see a rom-com if I know I can't sustain this.
right,
So
right.
let me go ahead and take her to something that I know I like. And so, y'all, I took her to go see. So again, this is like back in like 07, stuff like that, 06, 07. I think the first movie I took her to go see was The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage, y'all.
The bad one.
The real bad one.
Not the OG that just came out.
Not the OG. Wicker Man, y'all. The one with Nicolas Cage. And I like Nicolas Cage, but that one was
not
a
that
little,
time.
you know,
Let's see. Let me bang through these so we continue the questions. You ever think to yourself, thank heavens I didn't meet her in the beginning of February, or else I'd have to take her to Pink Panther too? Wow.
Exactly.
First person I remember surviving was Roger in Night of the Demons. Yeah, for real. I talked about that, man. He shows up. We got Cray Dre in the house.
Cray Dre, what's up, man?
It's about time you show up. What's going on, brother? Tyrone says, just know, Tommie, when I come to Detroit, I got to take a photo in front of the 8 Miles. You got to.
Absolutely.
That's kind of like apropos now.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and by the way, y'all, I think Eminem has a restaurant. I think he has a restaurant downtown Detroit, actually. I think it's like a spaghetti spot or something like that where they
Mom's
just
spaghetti.
Yeah, it's in Detroit. And so my wife and I did our anniversary downtown Detroit last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was up then or not, but I remember talking about it, and we tried to make it there, but we couldn't. But yeah, y'all. So if y'all do come, y'all gotta check it out, man.
Yeah,
y'all gotta check it out.
We got James in the house.
What's happening?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, he just got the new Wicker Man Steelbook.
Really?
I think that was his first time seeing it. So yeah, he's slowly diving into like the horror. Like last year, I remember he was dipping into like the Arrow titles. So now he's getting more into horror, more Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
So like Amityville horror, that stuff. So I like when people make forays into different genres. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
you got Mama Blu-ray in the house. What's up, Bonnie?
I love that, Mama Blu-ray.
Yeah, get to know Mama Blu-ray, man. She's like the matriarch of the people.
Love it.
It is called Mom Spaghetti. Yep. There we go.
Yep.
Let's see. The other question I wanted to know is, we know you're a collector, a physical media collector of movies and everything. How long have you been collecting?
Oh gosh, y'all. I started collecting DVDs, y'all. So I started, like, I think of my first DVD, y'all. I can't remember my first DVD. Let me not lie. I don't remember my first DVD, but I do remember picking up a few horror DVDs from like a Circuit City. Y'all remember Circuit City?
Oh yeah.
And I picked those up probably back, maybe it was like 08, y'all. Maybe like 08. And then I remember coming home and being like so proud of my like 2 or 3 horror DVDs. And I was like, I had them propped up. It was only 3 of them, so I was trying to like arrange them as many kind of like as many positions as I could to kind of just like change it up. But then I was like, yo, let me go back and see what else they got. And all of a sudden we moved to Chicago and I started going to this spot called Disc Replay.
We know about Disc Replay.
Yeah, I started going there, and y'all can imagine how I spent my Saturdays. You know, going through the movies, like, you know, like gotta get it, gotta get it. And so that's what I did. And I think probably around, I don't know, maybe like 2010, 2011 is when I was like, I kind of considered myself a little bit of a collector, y'all. So I was like, you know, yeah, I got like a stack of them. But then I got on YouTube and saw real collectors, and I got humbled real fast.
Yeah.
I got humbled real fast. I was like, oh, I don't have like hundreds or thousands of them. But I did start collecting them though after a while, because I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. This is my thing. You know, we all want to have our thing. And as horror fans, you know, we all want to have our horror thing. And I think initially, like, getting the DVDs, KB, was like the big thing. If you were like kind of like consider yourself like a fan of the genre.
Especially
So
if it was like a movie that was hard to find, or you seen or you heard about it, but you never like touched it. You never had, like, I remember when Evil Dead was hard to find, and then all of a sudden it was like everywhere. All
yeah,
these different companies, like, I don't know if the license was open or whatever, but Anchor Bay had one.
yeah,
Your mama and daddy had one.
right,
5011 Studios had one.
right,
Everybody.
right. You know what movie I had a hard time finding, y'all, on DVD for the longest. This was like some years ago. Was the original Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I could not find it. And then all of a sudden, maybe like a few years ago, I saw it everywhere.
When it dropped on Blu-ray, it became easier to find, but like DVD days, like
Yeah.
because the VHS was thick. It was
Yes.
3 hours.
Yes.
It was like Titanic thick.
Yes.
And then once it hit like Blu-ray, you could find it anywhere.
Everywhere. So that was definitely one of those ones.
Yeah. Couple of quick comments. We'll continue on. Yeah. Sometimes it was just like that one, because especially if it was like a new release, you only had one in a week. So you were happy for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Each of us horror people have our own thing. So true. That's why we're all so familiar but so different. It's true. I have friends that, you know, they know every lore, every movie that has to deal with vampires. But you start to talk about like a possession movie, or even like a different creature feature or anything like that, and you speak in Swahili, they don't understand what you're talking about. So so true.
Yeah, I don't think you know what, y'all, like, for me, I think I'm just kind of like across the board. Obviously, I got my like subgenres that I like a little bit more than others and all and whatnot. But yeah, man, I mean, we all got our thing. That's so true. And don't let me get started, man. Don't let me get started with the horror conventions. So
it's so diverse these days.
Oh man,
because now they're bringing in TV. You had like things like Walking Dead and all that. So yeah, we're the same but different at the same time. Our taste preferences are so peculiar. True. What's up, Holland? Holland Oates in the house.
What's happening, Holland?
Yeah, man. I gotta. This is a let me show Tommie I did my research beforehand question. And it's kind of like putting you on blast too.
Yeah, come on.
Does enemy territory still scare you?
You know what? That child, that 11-year-old that's still living someplace deep in here, yes, that 11-year-old will still say yes. And in honor and in respect of that 11-year-old in me, yes, it still scares me.
I feel that way. I was thinking about it because I was watching No One Will Save You. And then I was like, Tommie.
Yes. And I still gotta watch that one, by the way. I still gotta watch that one.
It's good.
Is it good?
I don't know. It's like once a year or so, Hulu puts out a movie that you say, now why didn't you just release this in theater? Last year was Prey. And I think No One Will Save You would have been good in the theater too.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something. I'm glad you said that. So now my wife and I, we can watch something together.
Thank you, man. Dre said I'm one of the goats. His questions be taking him off guard, doing all the research. I got to, because the whole thing is I don't want to just ask people the same questions. Like, I don't remember the last time I asked someone how long they've been collecting. And you know, you got to show that if I have somebody on, it's because I want to talk to them. It's not because it's just like some random thing. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to Tyrone. I want to talk to Caprice, whoever it is. So it has to be specific. It has to be specific questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, girl. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
So Jaleesa is giving it her stamp of approval. So I'm sure Austin will like it. Austin will like it. I'll see if my wife want to watch it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good, man. And I'm not spoiling anything because people are already talking about this.
Yeah.
Little to no dialogue. So it almost plays like a modern day silent film.
Really?
But with that said, the sound is amazing. If you got a sound system,
Yeah.
crank it up. It's
Are you
lovely,
serious?
lovely,
Oh,
lovely.
wow. Okay,
I
okay.
thoroughly enjoyed it. That's
Well,
all I'll say.
I'm getting excited just listening about this. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. My fifth question we kind of already covered, which was at the risk of spoiling
Uh-huh.
spoiling a movie. No, I'll put it like this: at the risk of spoiling a movie,
Uh-huh.
who is your favorite Black horror survivor? Because now we have a few. I mean, we got LL. My head is like a shark fin. We
Yeah,
got Raj. We
yeah,
got a few.
yeah,
So
yeah. You know what? You know what? I gotta y'all and horror fans, please forgive me for this one. Please forgive me for this one. Because it's kind of horror, but sci-fi horror.
mhm.
Gotta give it up for Sanaa Lathan and Aliens versus Predator.
Yes,
Come
a
on now.
sci-fi final girl.
Come on now.
That's
Gotta
a
give it
good
up.
choice.
Yo, when my
That's a good
first time
choice.
seeing that, I was like, look at Sanaa.
She
I
just
was,
got badass at the end of that
yo,
movie.
she was tough in that one. I mean, and when she got the look, okay, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Don't worry, the chat is just going on. Everybody dropping their favorites.
I don't want to spoil it, y'all. But
Buster and
yeah.
Resurrection.
Oh, yeah. Come on
Geraldine
now.
and Demon
Come
Night. We
on.
were talking Demon Night last night.
Yep.
Actually,
Yep.
we got on this hashtag Billy Zane thing. So we were just talking all these Billy Zane movies, doing quotes. And then we got to Demon Night. I was like, yo, low key, I love Demon Night.
Demon Night
And
was great.
she's controversial right now, but Jada Pinkett as Geraldine in Demon Night,
Hey,
badass.
gotta separate the art from the artist.
Salute, salute, salute.
What's
Jersey
going on,
in the
Jerry?
house. What's up, Jerry? Who else dropped one? Oh, we got some love for Sanaa. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's true.
Yes.
They could have made some money with No One Will Save You just on the buzz alone, because people would see it and then be like, oh, you got to check this out, and you don't want to give anything away about the movie.
Right.
Like, why is it almost no dialogue? There's something to it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But you know
yeah,
what, though, man? That's some creative. I mean, to write something like that, and I have a whole different level of respect for like writers just because of the work that I know that they do and the creative internal searching you got to do to get these things out onto paper. For somebody to write something and like you said before, if the dialogue is minimum and for it to still be really engaging, yo, that's some art.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Stu if he's still in the live stream or still in the chat, because he put up an excellent video just talking about screenwriting and the difference between writing a full feature and writing shorts.
Yeah,
I know I've dabbled in some story, like NaNoWriMo, whatever it is.
yeah,
And like, oh man, I could really flesh this out to like a full screenplay. And then I'm like, that sounds too much like work. But then you cut things back and it could be an excellent short story, a 25, 30-minute short film. And I'm like, I should do that.
yeah.
So, but either way, whether it's a short, damn, this dog is heavy. Can I put you down? Are you gonna lie down? Are you gonna lie down with Ahsoka if I put you down? Just stop moving, because you're making my leg fall asleep.
Did everybody see on KB?
I don't know. We'll bring it back up. We got my man Lando in the house, fresh from his washing set. So looking luxurious.
Too cute.
He even got the free "we overcharge you, so we're gonna give you a piece of fabric to put around the dog's nest scarf." So we pay extra for that.
All right.
So you're gonna stay still? You can't move around. You make daddy's leg hurt. Can you stay? Okay. He wants to stay.
Too cute, man. Too cute.
All right. Any more comments before we move on? We got a few more. Boom, 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 boom. Monkey, I'm seeing your comments, man. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep the flow going. He wants to know what horror film has your favorite soundtrack.
Ooh, love that question. I would say my favorite soundtrack, y'all. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Near Dark
Good one.
I'm gonna have to go with Tangerine Dreams.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I love it. So y'all, I got like maybe like about I don't know how many albums like on my phone. So when I get into the car, depending on my vibe. I like the Near Dark soundtrack. That's my first one. First one. And then I also like the original soundtrack, also done by Tangerine Dreams, for the first Firestarter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You talk about a mood.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it.
I like well, one, I like early Danny Elfman, like 89 Batman.
Okay.
That got me through college. I put that on and I could study for hours, just having it play on repeat.
Right.
Especially since it got a little bit of Prince in there. I don't know if people know that. But
yeah.
But then more importantly, as I got older and more into the genre, Goblin, man. Anything that Goblin does, like the original Suspiria, they came here to Kansas City at least 2 years in a row, and they showed Suspiria while Goblin played.
Oh, are you serious?
That was so good.
Oh, that was so good. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I used to DJ, so I got turntables and all that. So I could easily see, like last night's guest, Horror Macaroni, Lisa. She has like about a collection of about 100 or so soundtrack scores for movies. And I'm like, ooh, that could be dangerous if I get into it. But I keep seeing different people. Like there's this lady, we were actually referring to her last night. Her channel is Your Favorite Gremlin. And she had the Malignant soundtrack. And it has like red blood splatter as the vinyl.
Really?
Like, yo, this is crazy. I would cop that. I would cop that.
Goodness. Oh, y'all, there's a record player. There's a record store that's kind of close, right outside of Detroit in Dearborn. Huge record store. And they had an album, y'all. I had never seen this one. They had an album, a soundtrack from the movie May.
Oh, wow. That just got a second site release.
They had a soundtrack vinyl. It was all red.
Yeah.
That sort of dark, deep red.
Yeah. Almost like blood red.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So it's like a thing. It's like again, it's
but it's
about
like movie collecting though, man. You get into like 180 grams, and is this a color vinyl? Is this an OG? Is it a reprint? People are vinyl people are as crazy as like movie people. Watch the documentary called Vinyl Nation. You could get it through Vinegar Syndrome.
Okay.
They crazy. The place in the beginning of that movie that they open up is right here in Kansas City. Mills Records. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
Are you a big sleepaway camp person?
Yes, I got all three. I would say probably my favorites though are like my favorite is probably 3.
Okay. That was the question. What's your favorite and why?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be the third one, only because it kind of took on a more, I don't know, because it must have come out like it felt like 87, 88.
There was some space.
Yeah, it felt like it. And I just like the cheese. I just like the cheese. It's not even necessarily the kills or anything like that. It's just the cheesiness of it that I just was like, I just like this one. It's one of those movies that I kind of like. If we have company over, I won't put it on when company's over because I don't want everybody to think I'm like.
This is what you be watching,
right? It's one of my hidden little movies. Like I'll tuck this away in the back and I won't watch this by myself.
I feel like that about Night of the Demons 3, but
related
to that, Tyrone wants to know Night of the Demons or The Exorcist.
I knew Tyrone was gonna come with that. I knew Tyrone was gonna come with a question. Woo! Okay. All right, Ty. So definitely the scariest movie of all time is The Exorcist. The most watchable one, though, Night of the Demons.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna put Night of the Demons on probably regularly. Exorcist.
You gotta sit and watch and get into like it's a cinematic masterpiece, so you're not just casually watching it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you.
I feel like I couldn't. The Exorcist sort of like requires you to put everything else down and watch it.
Even though you've seen it 11 times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We got Brother Dell in house saying what's up.
What's happening, Dell?
Yeah, Goblin is life. For real. For real. Okay, opera is good too. But Suspiria better soundtrack for me.
I like Suspiria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OP with Goblin equals yes. Yes. Jeff be knowing. Jeff be knowing. Yeah, man.
We got the music going on here now, man.
I love it. I love it. Let's see. All right. Oh, favorite black horror film.
Love it.
Tyrone being messy.
Favorite black horror film. Jeez. Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna take much. Okay, I ain't gonna take much. I can literally be like, but yeah. I would say, I gotta say Ganja and Hess. I gotta say Ganja and Hess, y'all. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was. What was my man's name? Dwayne Johnson? Well, not Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson. The guy that played in Night of the Living Dead, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Dwayne.
But everything about that movie was so
Dwayne Jones.
Yeah. It was just a great film. It looked great. I loved the story. It was spooky, but still kind of like captivating. You know what I'm saying? I love it. It holds up today to me. I know Spike Lee had kind of redid it.
Yeah.
And came out with that newer version one. You know, it was an interesting take though, KB. Like, I didn't like it better than the original.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't feeling it?
Mm-mm. And I said, maybe I only gave it one shot. That's my problem. Usually, I reserve, if I don't like something, I reserve to the second watch, but I never got around to that second watch.
Yeah, so. I liked it. It was okay, but you know, obviously the OG is the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ganja and Hess, y'all.
Ooh, Dell.
OG
Dell.
Soundtrack, remake, Suspiria, better movie. Woo!
That is the hottest take so far tonight.
We'll have to revisit that. I have to agree though. I think that Suspiria remake was mean.
I'm thinking about like things to do in 24. Like, I love these one-on-one conversations. I would never want to give them up, but I want to start getting into roundtables and have different ideas. So I'm thinking about OG versus remakes or requels, whatever. And instead of just doing it with one person, just have like a roundtable of people. Yes. I would love to kick it off with the OG Suspiria versus remake, because a lot of people either ignore it or just poo-poo on it.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up.
Oh,
I got two people on this round table already.
Yo, first of all, that is a hot idea. I love that idea. That idea is that's fantastic.
And it'll just be the round table. Just, you know, keep with the flow. The round table.
That'll be big time. That'll be big time.
Okay, I missed this one, Dre. That remake Suspiria was insane. I felt so disoriented. Yeah. The ending left that feeling. Oh, we could have some fun with this.
It did.
Okay.
I know.
I'm definitely going to be sending out some invitations for this.
You got the OG squad over here, and you got the new ones over here.
You want to get down?
That would be fantastic.
You want pillow? You want pillow? You're killing my leg, dude.
Hey man, happy October, y'all. Happy October and happy pre-Halloween. And have fun. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you for filling in.
Have a lot of fun.
He's looking at me like I thought we had something here. You can't go under there. Too many wires. You have to stay here. Yes, I talk to my dog like children.
Hey, that's what they require. So that's what they require.
Woo. Look, see. I hope KB puts me on this round table. We shall see. How about that? Keep the rhyme going.
You done came up with that idea, man. People are gonna hold you to that one, man. That's a good idea.
I know. I like accountability. I ain't scared of it. All right. So let's get into these questions, man.
All right.
Because we'll spend the majority of the time on two, but we'll kick it off with one. Can you stop? She is snoring like a drunk sailor back there.
Hey, she done had a long day.
I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard out here for a dog.
Right.
Forget a pimp. It's hard out here for a dog. I wish I could put the microphone like right up against her. It's funny. Let's start with number one. My man, tell me the horror movie that made you fall in love with the genre.
Oh gosh. I would say that made me fall in love. Oh, that's a real serious question. Y'all, I think again, this could be one of those ones I think hard about, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that made me fall in love with it, with the genre, is probably going to be, I'm going to have to say Poltergeist. I'm going to have to say the first Poltergeist. When I first saw the first Poltergeist, obviously, back in the 80s, I was a little, whatnot. And, it wasn't so scary that my folks were like, yeah, you can't see this one. It still had that Spielberg feel to it and all that kind of stuff. But I would say it was probably the Poltergeist, man, because it had enough in there to freak me out, especially with that clown. But it was still, but it still had kids in it, and it still kind of had that, not too tough of a horror film, but still kind of exposed me to what this new genre was all about. So I would say it was definitely Poltergeist. Yeah. Definitely Poltergeist.
We were talking about that one. We were talking about that one earlier in the week, and the fact that one, it still holds up. Two, when it came out, there was no PG-13 because that was easily going to be PG-13 for some of the quote unquote disturbing images.
Absolutely.
And then even last week, talking with Ken from Sledgehammer Horror, that it's kind of sad. We were talking Poltergeist 3 at the time, but what happened with the little girl and dying and everything like that, it's like that franchise was kind of cursed, and they still kind of disrespected by setting it up for the sequel at the end by leaving it open, which, I mean, come on, have some respect for the dead. But yeah, it's a good one. 4K is beautiful. I love that 4K.
Yeah. Now that's one I did not like the remake too.
Nah, not at all.
Didn't like that one at all.
You don't even got to talk about it. That's just like let's spend some time and talk about some movies that we prefer to talk about. So name some of your favorite spooky or creepy movies, and you got a nice list.
Oh God.
Where are you gonna start?
Okay, y'all. So I got mine set up behind me, y'all. If y'all can see them, let me duck a little bit. Let me get out.
I'm gonna zoom in for you.
So I got Fright Night Part 2, the original Fright Night Part 2, the 87 or 88.
Fright Night Part 2. Let's do them one at a time. That way we could just talk about each movie. They could see the other covers, but let's talk about that one. And
okay, this one here, Fright Night Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So brief synopsis. We'll try to keep it spoiler free.
Spoiler free, y'all. It's a great movie. No. I mean, it's if you like the first one, which we all can agree that the first one is a classic. If you like the first one, this one still definitely had the same mood as the first one. I love this one because it introduced multiple vampires. And it gave them a lot of diversity too. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of like the type of vampire they were. I thought that was really, really cool. And y'all, I love the theme music or the score to this movie so much. Come to Me, I love it. I absolutely, it is so hypnotic and like, I don't know, it's something about it that if I was ever to get bitten by a vampire, I would want that to be my personal like theme song that played just for me. Like that is a slick song, but it kind of had the same feel as the first one, y'all. It's really cool because you bring back some of the same characters, and it's just a solid film. I know that it has some controversy and things like that around it. That is another one that was really hard to find.
Yeah,
I could not, and I think it's out of print still. I could not find it anywhere. I ended up going to a horror convention, y'all, went to a horror convention, and you know how I had gotten burned at a couple of other conventions, so I started bringing my own little portable DVD player.
You do not.
Oh, come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it.
You're like the guy selling the bootlegs on the corner. He's like, I got a player here to show you.
No. Oh, I had a DVD player back at the hotel. So we went to one in Indianapolis, and you know, the guy had a big old table, y'all, huge table. He was a real cool cat too. And he was like, yo, I got so many, you know, you like 80s. I'll say, yeah, horror movies. He's like, oh, you're gonna love this. And he started going through it. I was like, and as I was looking at him, I was like, do these play? And I just asked him straight out. I was like, man, do these work? He's like, no, these work. So I ended up getting one DVD, took it back to the hotel. My wife was like, why are you running? And I was like, because I want to be, I was like, I
gotta go back and gave him.
I know, right? I want to be able to go back and catch him.
Boy, break down his table. I got to make sure this works.
So I'm up there in the hotel room, y'all, with my little USB wires, trying to hook them up to the TV in the back in the hotel room. And I'm like, yo, pressed it. And it came on so clear. I was like, I have found my best friend. So I ran back and got I don't know how many more DVDs I bought from this guy. But yeah, y'all, if you all could pick up Fright Night Part 2, a lot of people don't talk as much about it because it's kind of hard to find. But it's a solid vampire flick. If you like the first one, you're definitely going to like this one.
Yeah.
What's up, E? You should be busy packing, my dude.
But thanks for stopping in. He is on his way to Disney. From T-Dot. So I'm like, you need to be packed up and ready to go. So
thank you so much for like taking the time out of packing to come and check this.
I know, right? I hope you guys have a blast.
Yeah,
man, I wish I could join you. But
definitely be careful, be safe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that movie, I haven't seen it since like back in the day. I used to work at a video store, so I used to watch things all the time.
Oh yeah.
But something about Charlie Brewster, man, from the first one to this one, I don't like, dude. I love the movies, but him as a character, and I feel like almost because of what happens in this movie, he kind of takes a backseat to Roddy McDowell.
Yes,
and there's that scene where he's like, I think he's in a diner or something, if I remember.
Okay.
And the guy's like, "Oh, I know where you're from. You know, what do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a vampire killer."
Right.
He's like, Nah. I mean, like, what do you really do? He's like, "I'm a vampire killer." I was like, "Yeah, yes, you are. Go get your kill on."
And y'all too to be, you know, all cars on the table, man. Like, I think another reason why I really like this movie so much is because as a kid, I remember being in a drive-in with my folks and looking out the back window, because the drive-in that we went to had about like 10 different screens. And I remember looking out the back window and seeing Fright Night Part 2 playing on another screen way back in the back. And I remember my parents telling me, "No, sit down," you know, because I was standing up as a kid looking out the window because I knew that's what it was. I don't know what I think we were watching something like Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, or something like that. Something I really didn't want to see as much as Fright Night Part 2.
You're a kid, so always. People checking in with how they got their copy. Spanish Blu-ray, region free. Nice.
Yes.
Got a bootleg on the street back when that was a thing. Yeah. Only after going in the rent-a-furniture store in the same strip mall to test it out. Nice. You can't go too far from the man with the shopping cart, man. You will get got. What's up, Tiana? Talking about my Canadian friends up there.
How you doing, Tiana?
Thanks for checking in.
Definitely.
My man Eric says, always take the time to support you. Oh, man. Love you, man. Love you. Love the stream. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. People saying hi to each other. Boom.
That's what's up, man. Keep it going.
I love it.
Wonderful thing. It's Friday night, y'all. It's Friday night. We're talking about horror. This is like a community.
Yeah. What's better than that? All right. Take a sip and then tell me what's the second movie you chose.
All right, y'all. So it's going to be something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about.
I was about to say, you got to take it off the shelf. People can't see that.
Prince of Darkness.
We were talking about this. So a lot of I had that What's Your Favorite Carpenter movie thing video last weekend. And of course, you're gonna get the Halloweens and the things. Those are, like I said at the end of the video, this one is my favorite. This one is the best.
Yep.
But the man has such a filmography that it's so easy to forget some of the movies that are not the biggies. You know, people always talk about They Live, but they may not talk about Big Trouble, or they might talk about Escape from New York, maybe not LA, but New York. But they won't necessarily bring up Christine as much.
Yeah,
and
or vampires.
Yeah, Vampires, In the Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness. 3 movies I think deserve more shine in his filmography.
Yes. So, I mean, like you said, man, everything that he had so much, and can't forget about The Fog.
Yeah, I saw it last weekend on the big screen. I went to like a little 3-movie marathon.
Yeah,
The Fog, The Thing, and Christine.
Oh wow! Oh man,
nice lineup.
Oh man, I think I would have just been in there like permanently. I mean, that's a lineup right there.
Bro,
I mean,
we were in the front. We were on leather couches, me and Mrs. KB, and it was beautiful because we could cuddle up. Or we could just sprawl out because it was a whole leather couch, like a 3-person leather couch.
Come on now, how else can you spend in October?
I know.
Come on now.
Last year, I went. It was a Nightmare on Elm Street marathon. Me and my friend Ryan from the Disconnected went, and it was like an all-day affair. But this year, it was just like the 3 movies, so it was an evening thing.
Yeah,
so it was a nice way to spend the evening with the lady. You know, she liked that stuff. We're 80s fans, so it worked out. But Prince of Darkness, tell the people who may not know, may not have seen this, because you hear that and you immediately think it's going to be like a Dracula movie. But it's not. What is it about?
Well, first of all, y'all, this movie here, it is it's a really, really interesting movie. It's about basically like these science students. They're like physicists, like in a PhD program. And you all, if you haven't seen this one, you will be very happy to know that Donald Pleasance is in this one. Donald Pleasance, and he plays this priest who finds this really weird artifact kind of thing in this sort of condemned church. And so he invites these physicists to come to this church and basically try to find out what's going on with this artifact. Well, long story short, without any spoilers, all hell breaks loose in this in this church, because
literally
this artifact starts to have an impact on the students that are in this church. And I love a great horror movie, y'all, where it feels kind of closed in, like there's no way out kind of thing. And it's really, really cool, y'all. If y'all haven't seen this one, and like I said before, this one doesn't get as much play as, like KB said, like the other ones, but this is a really, really good one. I'm trying to think. It's actually on, I can't even think of what channel, like what platform it's on right now, but I'm sure you can find it someplace and stream it. It's worth it. Good soundtrack too. And the acting is really good too in this one.
Yeah. And it's funny to see Loomis in a priest outfit.
Right.
So we got some people who haven't seen it. Dell hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Who else just said? Oh, Dre hasn't seen it. Laren's seen it, loves it.
Yep.
Jeff has seen it, talking about that swirling cylinder.
Yes.
Eric, it's a banger. Love your picks so far.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, man. The fog is fun. I think it's underrated because it's it plays itself. Shout out to Mark from Tales from the Shelf. It plays itself like suggested horror, and then it gets real.
Yeah. And I think it came out, wasn't it like really like on the heels of Halloween?
Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason why Jamie Lee was in it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like trying to capture the popularity.
Yeah.
But then you get, 80s horror star Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah.
That adds on to it as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid story. It's, if you let people know it's a ghost story up front, I think it plays better. Then if people are trying to figure it out and be like, why? They're just scared of some fog. Or even worse, they do a comparison with that in The Mist. I think let them know that it's a ghost story up front and then just go from there.
Yeah, The Fog is probably the most, I don't know, man. It's something about it that makes me feel cozy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a real low key.
Makes you want to go to
one movie
Catalina.
that my wife would let me like turn on at night before we go to sleep.
Okay.
Cause she's kind of like, there isn't a whole lot of over the top screaming and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just slow and steady.
Yeah. Dre, I saw it. This bothers me. We're all holding on to our DVD box sets of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Yeah.
Because the Blu-ray was terrible and we're waiting for the 4K. I think that's universal between fans.
Yeah.
The cut that we saw, the transfer that we saw last year, so April 1st, 2022, was a 4K transfer. So Warner Brothers has already done at least the first movie on 4K.
Okay.
But they showed it to us. So as a physical media fan, as a Fred head, I'm like, give it to us. I don't care if you put Freddy versus Jason or you don't put everything else.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
You want to leave out that booty remake?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Just give me everything else.
Yeah.
Give me Freddy's dead. I don't care. I just want that whole franchise in 4K. Do it right.
You know what, right. You know what, man? I have mad respect for like the 4. I love it because, like you said, the look of it all. But at the same time, I kind of like that VHS.
I understand where you're coming from because,
you know what I'm saying?
A couple of weeks ago, I watched Blair Witch Project, and I went back and I searched through my DVDs. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this like I did originally in 2000.
Yeah,
the way it's supposed to be seen.
Yeah. So it kind of depends.
I mean,
4K, you can't beat the look, but sometimes it's kind of like, but I kind of want to get that. Take me back to the 80s.
Yeah, same thing with which I didn't see it this way. I just saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre the OG for the first time in completion. Like 2 years ago. But I had the Blu-ray, and I said, I bet you if I could get my hands on a VHS copy, that would be the right way to watch this movie. It's not supposed to be clean and 4K and Dolby Atmos. It's supposed to be gritty and 2.0 coming through my 10 speakers on my 19-inch kind of thing.
Yes.
Not my 83-inch with surround sound.
Right now. I mean, there are some movies that, obviously like the look of it adds to, you know what I'm saying, everything that's going on. And like you said, man, like a movie like Texas Chainsaw, it's like, nah, I need to see it in like, I need the color to be bad.
Mm-hmm. Those red shorts should blind my eyes because that's the only spot of color in the whole movie.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Michael, check them both out. Great movies.
Yes.
Great movies.
Yes. You will not be disappointed with neither one of those choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince of Darkness. The mirrors never saw the same for years. To this day, I don't look in the mirror because of the ending.
Whoa. Love it.
Good score. Carpenter movies always have good stories. I was going to mention that the score in Prince of Darkness actually reminds me of Escape from New York. Almost like similar keys and everything.
Yeah, but doesn't Carpenter, doesn't he do his own scores?
Or for the most part, he does.
Yeah.
So if you see similarities, there's a reason why.
Yep.
Remake was god awful. Facts.
Oh my God. Do you mean to what movie?
Probably Nightmare.
Oh yeah.
Feel more connected to VHS look. It makes me feel so homey. Yeah, it's nostalgia.
Yes.
It's nostalgia.
Yes.
Let's see. Texas Chainsaw Talk. Boom, boom, boom. Don't seem to enjoy many Carpenter movies. Well, to each their own.
Yeah. I mean, Carpenter, like I said, the 80s was dominated pretty much between Carpenter and Craven. What's Craven?
Mm-hmm.
You had some other ones out there. Toby Hooper. Is it Hooper?
Yeah.
You had some other ones out there. I think it just kind of depends because Craven and the thing I liked a lot about between Craven and Carpenter is that they definitely had their own signature to their films. You could tell a Wes Craven villain as opposed to a Carpenter villain. You could you could kind of feel it out. So you might like Craven instead of maybe like Carpenter instead.
Yeah, because Craven villains always have that underlining almost like deviancy about them, whether it's Krueger or like the mother and father and people under the stairs, you know.
Yes.
There's always that.
Yes. And don't get me started. Don't get me started with what's the name of that movie? With Pinkerton, the guy who got electrocuted but came back. Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker.
That's why I haven't splurged on the 4K. I got this, and the only reason I got this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K.
Let me see that. Can I see that? Can I see that cover again?
It has the OG poster inside, but the outside is a close-up of Sally's eye.
Oh, that's slick.
Yeah. And then you could see Leatherface inside of the pupil.
Oh, yeah. That's slick.
So the only reason I got this is because it has a full-length documentary, and my friend Jill is in it. She's one of the people talking. So that's the only reason I got it. I'm still trying to get her on before the end of the month. So
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, can't leave out Cronenberg for sure.
Oh yes,
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Carpenter, favorite composer. Yep.
Yes.
Texas Chainsaw should have that gritty feel. Yep.
Yes.
So
yes.
true.
Yes.
So
don't
true.
give me like the crystal clear 4K. No.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, Prince of Darkness, pretty good, but underrated.
Yes.
Let's go with another one. What's your third?
Okay, y'all. Don't hear this one talked about too much either. The Omen Part 2. The Omen Part 2.
I'm before you even get to the synopsis, I'll tell you why. 2 reasons, I think. People sleep on The Omen as a franchise. And 2, that physical media is so hard to find now. It doesn't stream anywhere. It is hard to find. You better be okay with streaming a rental if you want to see that, or finding a DVD or VHS copy. Otherwise, so hard. So hard.
Y'all, I got turned. Well, the Omen
nice.
once. The Omen. First of all, y'all, I got like in my top 3 scariest movies of all time, y'all. Exorcist is gonna be number 1. I'm gonna have to put Omen up there. The first Omen. And not because of it. The Omen to me was so thick with story that it didn't need a whole lot of special effects. I mean, the story was so thick, and I gotta tell y'all, and I'm sure y'all already know, probably will agree, but the actors in those movies, especially in the 70s, were just masterful.
Yeah.
Like the way they acted was like, oh my goodness, like you didn't even really need very much because they had so much emotion. I mean, y'all remember, like, just think about like the priest from The Exorcist, his face. He wore so much emotion on his face. And when you think about the little boy in Omen, when he was like a little bitty kid, he didn't have to say very much. Just look at him. And it's like, I'm terrified. And you add to that score. There is no music scarier to me than The Omen.
I mean, you just started chanting, and I was like,
yo,
can you stop?
Yo, that is the scariest thing I've ever heard ever. And then in part 2, y'all, where basically the kid grew up to a teenager. So in part 2, he's a teenager, and he
accepted his fate.
He's accepting his fate. He finds out slowly, and the way they build that up to the point to where he finds out is so well done, and the way he slides into like his newfound self, it was terrifying. And I'm telling y'all, man, that music, and I think the same guy who did the score for the first one did it for the second one.
Yeah, that's what Michael is saying here, Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah. And he changed it just a little bit, but still, y'all, that score, I mean, you hear that. Let me say, you hear that score. I remember being a kid and just hearing that music on when it was like on the TV, and and I it was everything I could do to find a remote because I just wanted to turn it because the music scared the crap out of me. The music in The Omen, to me, elevates it so high that I will put it in my top 3 scariest of all time. But yeah, Omen 2, fantastic, y'all. If y'all haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I have to say, it's like, of course, people talk about The Exorcist, and I'm glad Trini brought this up here, saying it's his favorite. Because I think The Exorcist walked so Omen could run. But I think in comparison, people still weren't over The Exorcist. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's all right. It's no Exorcist.
Yeah.
So I think, just looking at old reviews and all that,
Yeah.
because you have to think, and I think I mentioned this before, it's like when Exorcist came out, people were saying they haven't been shocked like this since Psycho. So 13 years prior, more or less.
Yeah.
So then you have this, and it's like less than 2-3 years later. It's like, I mean, we already seen a crucifix go somewhere it shouldn't. So, you're the Antichrist. Cool. That's cool story, bro.
Exactly. But those movies, though, they took on such a serious topic because it was sort of a little bit of religion, a little bit of talk about good and evil, the devil, God, and those movies just because the dialogue even was so thick and just well done, and again on top of the acting, it just made it just a great movie. And you're right though, KB. I never thought about the fact that it kind of came out a little bit after The Exorcist and may have been kind of overshadowed by The Exorcist a little bit.
I just think, like, we always say, like, the further you get away from a movie, it's like the harder it is to not only scare but also to shock people and for them to see the value. So it's kind of like you have that, you have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even before all that, you had Black Christmas, Like It or Hate It. And it's like, for it to become a franchise, I don't know, you have to have that religious undertone and belief in order for it to disturb you. And once it disturbs you, then it can scare you. And then once it scares you, then you start to see the value in it. But I don't think there's a lot of people who, like, no type of religious background or, don't want to say like atheist or whatever, but for lack of a better term, it's like, they can't make that connection. The same thing with a lot of like movies today, like possession movies and all that. They can't make the connection. So they're just looking at it on a surface level. There's no way they're going to see the scare or the shock about, dude, you really got to stay still. Or get down. You want to get down? You got to stay still, man.
He got a take two. He got a take two.
You want to get on the mic? You got something to say? So I think you need to have that connection in order for it to hit you like that. Even if it's just your mama praying for you, you got to have that connection in order for it to do something to you.
And that's a key word that you use, though, KB, is disturbing. Disturbing. And I think that's the movie, those kinds of movies, and you'll hear a lot of people kind of use that particular word when they talk about those kinds of movies like that. They'll just say it was disturbing, or it stayed with me for a while, even after having watched it. So I mean, movies like that, and I think to me, those are the scariest movies, the ones that disturb me, because when I'm disturbed, that's not something I can easily shake off. Like I'm thinking about it.
We got Sir James Brown in the house. Good to see you, brother.
Sir James.
The original Omen is the best. They don't make movies like that anymore. Omen 2 is great. Exorcist 73 is the best. And I think it suffers it suffers from that comparison, bro. It really does.
It does. No, but you know what though? I think it's still though, KB. I think it still I think did what it could, because I enjoyed part 3.
Do you have the box set with all of them, or?
I don't have the box. I had to buy them individually.
Yeah, I think Del was saying before he has a box set, but he only watched the first one. Del, you should check out 2 and let me know what you think about it, because I think it's more the same, like moving from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
But Damien makes such a difference. I mean, a lot of people don't even call it Omen 2. They just call it Damien because he's stepping into his own in this one.
Yeah.
And, you know, anyone who gets in his way,
Yeah.
some funky things start to happen.
Exactly. He did.
Let me catch up here. Jerry Goldsmith did a lot of famous scores, at least must-see movies. Yep.
Yeah, I think he did the score for Poltergeist too.
I gotta check into that.
Yeah.
Exorcist is still the one that terrifies me. Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah. Again, it's those key words like disturbing, terrifying. Those kinds of, once you get those kinds of words buzzing around, that's how you know you got like a landmark horror film.
Yep. Horror is terrible today, just bullshit, jump scare, snowflake trash. Most of it. But I hate to say it, it's kind of like you gotta salvage through that stuff to find a gem.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I think I don't know, man. I can't necessarily say because I wasn't making movies back in the 70s, but I just think that they just took so much pride in what they were putting out there. And again, like I said before, when I think about those movies, especially like of that sort of like caliber, I'll even put like Carrie up in that category as like a really truly terrifying movie because again, just look at the actors.
Yeah.
The actors scared me. They didn't have to say anything. Looking at Sissy Spacek at that time, and the actress who played her mother, who I think
Piper Laurie, she just died.
Just passed away.
Yeah, she was the true villain in that movie, by the way.
Oh, no question. But just watching their acting, it was just so mesmerizing. The actors to me made those kinds of movies, y'all.
This is Miss Ahsoka here. She took out her bow while she was sleeping. she got her perm, so her hair is late.
She gotta be seen. She gotta be seen.
You hear she's talking, she talks. What are you trying to say, Mama? You got something to say? Hi, Mama. Less than 10 pounds.
Man. Too cute.
Yeah, they are like kids for sure. A couple more comments. Where did I leave off? Yeah. Boo, 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 boo. He did score Poltergeist. Good call.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Carrie is amazing. Piper Laurie is insane. Really good chemistry. You don't see that. Oh yeah, man. She got her hair late. She got her hair late. She's young. She don't need no baby hair. She don't need no Jamaican silky. This is all natural.
She got a leg slit to the side. I see it.
These are just fruits and natural berries. 70s gave us so much greatness because it's the pinnacle of studios, letting directors create their own vision. Yeah, man, you got to be able to roll the dice and take a chance on projects. I think that's why people talk about A24 so much, because not to say so much that they're risk takers, but they take chances on films and on directors that are doing things a little bit different, a little left of center.
Yeah.
And for most audiences today, that is enough.
Yeah.
So when you get like a A24 horror movie, like a Talk to Me or something like that, people eat it up just because it's different than the standard fare that we get. I mean, I am not a Conjuring fan. I'm not a fan of those movies. I will not waste my time to watch them or go see them because it's like a lather, rinse, repeat.
Why? It's hard, man. It's hard. I mean, I heard luxurious cold. I know, right? I know. I think for me though, I don't know, man. I think again, when I see a horror movie or when I'm watching a horror movie, I'm just in it for the fear. I'm in it to be scared. That's why I'm watching a horror movie. And for me, like the 70s did that. Like that, I could tell that was their focus. Their focus was on let's scare some people. Let's scare the moviegoers. If they're coming to see a horror movie, let's give them what they're paying for.
Yeah.
And then the 80s, took the, made it infuse the fun into it, and I love that too. But yeah, with the more recent kinds of movies where you get into a lot of, and I like it. There's a place for it.
You and Terrell, man. You're like, I don't care. Just give it to me.
I like it, but
shout out to Terrell, by the way.
The whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really need a whole lot of like, you know, is this a metaphor for this or is this an allegory?
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get it. And especially with this new,
that's why you get comments like this, because
especially with this new thing about like elevated horror and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get it. I get the fact that they're trying to move away from like the 80s where you didn't care about the characters at all.
Mm-hmm.
I get the whole arc of the characters. I get the wounds, but sometimes, man, like the wounds of your protagonist be worse than the monster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. If you took out the monster, I think I would be just as scared because of this. The wounds of the person kind of be sort of like forefront.
Yep.
Whereas I'm like, okay, I want to kind of see the monster. I want to see the monster thing, and I want it to be a monster. I don't want it to be a metaphor for something else.
Right.
I want it to truly be a monster.
We spoke about this twice earlier this week when we had Reanimator, when we had Cap Porter on.
Yeah,
we were talking about mental health and trauma and grief and how often it shows up in movies today. And then when we had my friends Lisa and Meredith on, same thing, grief. All these movies have some type of basis in grief, regret, trauma. It's almost, I said it a few weeks ago, I said it's almost like how in the 50s and 60s they used science fiction movies to get across social and political messages.
Yeah,
they're using that now for, we can't scream out loud enough.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make movies, and that's gonna be a conduit to what we're suffering with. We're suffering with this mental health issue. We're suffering with this trauma. We're suffering with this unending grief.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put it in our movies.
And I think 30 years from now, the way we can look back 30 years ago and sort of like analyze the way that they were doing movies then, they'll do the same thing to where we are right now 30 years from now. They'll be like, okay, like this was like a big, you know, these were like big issues, and we can totally see these issues like infused in these movies. And like I said, there's a place for it. I think so, absolutely. And it does make the characters a lot more intriguing and things like that. But you know, I read this book real fast. I read this book on how to write monsters, and it was so good because when I think about a monster, I think about something that is there's no explanation for it. There's no reason for it.
I don't need a backstory.
You don't know where it came from. It's amoral. You don't know why it's driven by what is driven. It is supernatural. It is something that goes beyond our understanding. That's why it's a monster. And for me, what makes a character more compelling is watching that character in his or her humanity try to figure out how to overcome something that's supernatural. So give me a world of rules. Give me a world of rules, which is why I love Freddy so much, because I love the rules around when Wes Craven wrote those, you know, when he thought about, okay, a dream demon in the dreams, he can only kill you here, but you can do this to get him. Like, to me, and watching the kids figure that out, that makes me into that character.
Yeah.
That's what pulls me into the character, that pulls me into the story, because I'm like, wow, watch them try to figure out how to defeat the monster.
Yeah. A couple of comments here, like Michael said he didn't like it, and he's asking if we did. I liked it because it's very easy to look at it on a superficial level, and it is, as far as like these horror movies that we watch, it is very basic. But oh my gosh, we talk about how movies have underlying tones. They just said, we're going to bring it up. We're going to bring it up so you can see the underlying tones. This is not a horror movie to say a horror movie is a horror movie. This is once again, a story about grief. And we're going to use that as kind of like, I'll use the word again, kind of like a conduit for you to understand the grief and the unanswered questions that is like killing this girl. And the whole thing is the hand becomes a replacement for recreational drugs, because that whole montage of them just having fun with it is just like if they were snorting lines or passing around a blunt. might as well be the same thing.
So my wife and I saw that movie on our anniversary when we were out in dang, where were we? We were in California. We were like so Malibu. And we kind of had a bit of an argument after that movie.
Ooh.
We kind of had a bit of an argument we were actually in the Uber, kind of going back and forth about this movie in the back seat. I didn't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it though. I didn't love it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it. I thought it was beautifully shot. But I just, I wanted more. I wanted more horror.
Yeah. Like I said, they just used it as a way to tell the real story that they wanted to. I don't think it's hard to say, but I don't think it's a horror movie. I think it's more of a psychological thriller that has supernatural elements to it. To call it a horror is saying, like you're saying, it's like, you ain't put enough on my plate. I'm still hungry.
But see, KB, you just hit the nail right on the head. I think the way some of these movies they present themselves as like a horror movie, but then you get in there and it's like, well, wait a minute, you're only giving me real horror for like the last 5 minutes of the movie. For the first hour and 20 minutes, I'm watching almost like a different genre. You might sprinkle in little pieces and little things like that of horror here and there, and I might get horror for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But for the first hour and 25 minutes, I've been watching something else.
Yeah, exposition.
Huh?
You've been watching exposition leading up to that.
Yeah. And so it's like, I just want more horror. If I'm coming to see a horror movie, particularly if you like put the previews out there in the trailers and you
they got to market it a certain way, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
They market it as a horror movie.
Yeah, you market it as a horror movie, then I'm going in like, okay, I'm about to watch a horror movie. But if I walk out, I'm like, I'm kind of conflicted. I don't know what we just saw. My wife loved it though. I don't know if she loved it. She
liked it more than you.
She liked it more than I did because she certainly, got into the characters and got into the stories. And I was kind of sitting there like, yeah, but I wanted more. Give me more. What happened and why this and what about that? You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of left a lot, like wanting a whole lot. So
okay, so we got a super chat from Sir James Round. Thank you, my brother.
All right.
He says, watch Brian De Palma Blowout, Sisters, Body Double. 3 great movies right there. Insane horror thriller. Talk to Me is a ripoff of Witchboard. They use a hand instead. You just came up with a great idea for a double feature right there.
Wow.
I would love to watch Witchboard and then Talk to Me.
Wow.
Just to talk about the similarities.
Wow.
And more importantly, the differences. Like I said, I don't think it's a horror movie. I think they just, what they did? They put on Witchboard in the background to talk about grief.
You know what, though? That's okay.
Thank you again.
All right, KB. So you got to do a whole different thing just on
that
because that's a great point, man. That's a great point. And for to bring up Witchboard, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, just don't give me the horror for the last 5 minutes, and then come hard with like at the last 5 minutes, I'm like, oh wow, it's happened, and then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
But for the first hour and 20 minutes, I'm like, where's my horror? You know what I'm saying?
You don't get it throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
You get the introduction, a whole bunch of exposition, then you get it again at the end.
Exactly.
But you see, here's the thing. This is why it's divisive, because you have some people saying it was good. You have some other people trying to find that genre in it and missing the mark.
But you know what? And it was good. I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. And I think going in wanting more of that horror, I was like, give me more of the horror element. And so but it was a good, if you asking about like 3-act structure, you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff, it was solid.
Yeah.
It was solid, I think. But it's just y'all.
Okay. Okay. Dre brought up something. Before I bring this up. Del says, just saw it last night, loved it. For me, them dealing with the grief and trauma was horrific. Yeah, it's a different type of horror. It's not somebody being stabbed, it's not someone necessarily being possessed. It's still a different kind of horror. And like I said, these conversations are starting to blend together now. We previously said in another conversation that sometimes real life is a true horror. So now you have movies saying, "Nah, we're bringing real life into it. Your mama died. We're going to talk about it. You still have grief or trauma from this thing in your childhood.
Right.
We're going to bring it up."
Right.
And the thing is, now it's a part of it. So now the movies are less escapism and more reality seeping in. And it's just like you're watching somebody else's real life. So
But
then
see-
you have to have that supernatural element to keep it entertaining. But it's
see,
not a
y'all,
true horror movie.
But see, y'all, that's what. But for me, y'all, I don't know, y'all, and I think that's why that's why I still love my 80s so much, because the 80s movies didn't take themselves that seriously.
Yeah.
The 80s horror, they didn't take them. I mean, look at them.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, we here to have fun and
Number Party Massacre.
Yeah, we here to have fun, scare you along the way, and thank you for coming to the movies. Now go home.
93 minutes, go home.
Go home. And that was good enough for me, because I'm like, you know what? For me, horror is escapism. I'm not really into like sci-fi and fantasy kind of stuff like that. But I understand why people are, because it's an escape. It's an escape from reality. You get a chance to go to a different world. And that's how I see horror movies. Let me go to a different world. Let me go to Elm Street. Let me go to Crystal Lake. Let me go to Haddonfield. Like, this is a getaway for me. I personally, if I walk away still feeling like as bad as I would if I had watched the news.
Yeah. And I think that's what's happening more and more. But I'll put up 2 more comments and then we'll move on, because make it 3. I'll put up 3 more because it's very true. Very true. I'll work backwards. I think a modern film that doesn't take itself serious is Barbarian, straight to the point and fun. Very true. Enjoyed that.
Very true. I love that movie. Loved it. Loved it.
Jeff says the more a person relates to the trauma that is depicted, the more horrific it is for them.
Totally.
Very true.
Totally.
And here's the thing.
Totally.
Like we said before, you can't escape it if it's in the movie itself. But I think the best comment here to kind of wrap up this part of the talk is, now I'm gonna go watch Talk to Me after my movie. we've encouraged one more person to see it. Trini, hit me up on IG. Let me know what you think about the movie after you see it. Which side do you fall on?
No, this is a great convo though, KB.
Yeah, we still got more movies to talk about. I think we might just talk about the other movies and then just call it a night. But he was asking me, so how long you think it'll be? How long you need me? I was like, about an hour or so. We had an hour and a half mark, but we're having fun. It's Friday.
Hey,
you ain't got nowhere else to be. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no else.
Right. You ain't got nothing to do. So it's
Yes, Trini, we want to hear your thoughts on it, man. All right, hit us with another movie that you watch.
All right, y'all. So my 4th really fun movie that I enjoy for the Halloween season is going to be 976 Evil. This is a great movie, y'all. This one was actually, if y'all don't know, which I'm sure y'all do, I know y'all do. But this was actually directed by Robert Englund, directed by Mr. Freddie himself. And this one is so much fun. It actually has in Karen Black playing the mom. She's like this over religious. She is hilarious in this movie.
No, not Karen Black.
Is that Karen? That's like
no,
Karen Black?
That was Sandy Dennis.
Oh no!
From Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? She was the young couple, the lady in the young couple in Virginia Woolf.
I just knew that was Karen Black.
Nah, Karen Black would be like more. What's the word I'm looking for? Svelte.
Oh,
yeah, more of a. But she gave a good performance in that.
I just knew that this was Karen Black, y'all. I just knew.
You got me looking now.
Oh man,
it's been a minute, but I don't think it was Karen Black.
You might
Continue.
be right,
Tell them what's about.
It's a great movie, regardless. Y'all got to check this one out if y'all haven't seen it. It's about it's called 976 Evil. So it's about remember back in the 80s, there were like the 1-800 numbers you can call, and those kinds of movies. I never used those numbers.
What were you calling for?
I never called them.
Your horoscope?
But this kid he's getting bullied. He's getting bullied in high school. He calls this number and he talks to somebody who gives some advice on how to handle the bullies. Well, what he doesn't know is that the person he's talking to on the other end of the phone is, not a nice person. And so this person basically gives him powers to fight the bullies. And it's a great movie, fun. I think really cool, special effects. And if you like, again, y'all, the cheese, the 80s horror cheese. If you love it, which I do, you will absolutely have just fun. Fun with 976 Evil.
My whole thing is, we were just talking about the 3 parts to a movie. This really boils down to the before and the after.
Yes.
And the whole thing, I rewatched it for this conversation, and it came back to me. I was like, why don't I own this? Like, I mean, that's my dude from Fright Night, you know?
Yeah, come on, man. Come on now.
I'm like, why don't I own this? And I remember, like, that first half is like, slow.
You know, y'all, I actually met, I didn't meet him. I was feet away from him at a horror convention like a couple of years ago. The guy that played in Fright Night, the evil.
Steven, whatever his name is.
Yeah. But he stars in 976 Evil. And I when I saw him there, I was cracking up because I was like, man, he still looks the same.
Really?
But yeah, man, it's a fun film. If you just want to have fun, just relax and just have a fun time with a horror flick, especially considering it's Halloween. That one I think is a really, really cool Halloween season horror movie. So 976 Evil, y'all, for sure.
I will say this, like, you get like 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then you start to have fun with it. But those first 40 minutes, they slog, man. They are so
for whatever reason, I think Robert Englund wanted to really like make it like a movie.
Yeah, like, he was flexing his skills. He's like, let me show you what I could do in this director's chair.
Right.
Once it gets going, it's a fun movie, like you're saying.
It is.
We were talking about Night of the Demons before. The fact that they get into the multiple storylines early enough that you could be spooked and you could see Angela do her little dance and all that stuff.
Yes.
That's what this film needed. It needed something to set up what was coming later on.
Yeah, to try to give it that energy joke and
it was like it tried to be a crime drama.
Yeah.
And the whole bully trope and all that. Instead of setting up like the horror part of it, it set up all the subplots of it. And I was like, you can miss me with all that. Give me some horror up front.
That's a really
cool that way by the time it gets to like the good.
I never really thought about it that way, but that's a cool take. I think you're right. I think though, watching his transformation into this thing, to me, that kind of just sold it for me. I think I was kind of like, just like, okay, here it go. And like, you're right, because the horror really didn't start till a little bit later. I'll let y'all check it out if y'all haven't. But once it does, it's you're planted. You're planted in your seat to the end for sure. Yeah.
Dre said it got too silly for him. Mika says it has a lot of twists. Michael said, I heard it was bad.
No, give it a shot. If y'all haven't seen it, again, now it is no A24. Okay.
It is thinking of 88, 89.
Yeah. If
after the heyday of the slashers.
If you need that 87, 88 cheese aroma, if you just want to take it in,
it's stanky like that.
Then go ahead and check out 976.
Yeah. We got another super chat here. Thank you again, Sir James Brown. Fright Night 85, favorite vampire besides the old Christopher Lee and Blackula stuff. Rented Fright Night in the 80s. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had my own bootleg copy of that. Okay.
Yes.
We love to ask this question on here. Fright Night or the Lost Boys? Put it in the chat.
Woo! Fright Night or the Lost Boys? I'm gonna stick my chest out over this response. I got a response for you.
Okay.
The Lost Boys.
Okay.
The Lost Boys.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. Fright Night.
I love them both. Thank
Fright
you again,
Night is a classic. But listen,
Kiefer does it for me. That's what it is. Kiefer does
yo,
it for me. That's why I say Lost Boys.
yo, it's hard to listen as a vampire flick and to hear that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cry, little sister, thou shalt.
You got sexy, greasy saxophone, man.
That's
you got
cold
too many
blooded.
things.
That's cold blooded. Like it's hard to top that.
Yep. 80s cheese.
Yes, yes.
Fright Night, didn't like either movie. Okay.
Oh,
Lost
Fright Night.
Boys.
Okay.
Fright Night.
Oh, Fright Night. Everybody got Fright Night.
This is like what I said for Carpenter. I got my favorite and I got the best.
Yep.
Fright Night is the better movie as far as the way it's composed and everything. But Lost Boys is my favorite, man. You can't tell me anything when it comes to Kiefer, man. And to go from that and then years later be on 24, become Jack Bauer in my life.
But see too, I think with Lost Boys for me, man, you got the Corey in there. You know, it's like it's just too much going on in Lost Boys. I gotta, you know, the Lost Boys plus with the whole punk rock, it was just too much. I'm like, okay, this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Diane Weiss. Yep. You got Grandpa in there.
Yeah.
Lost Boys hits. Yeah, that soundtrack, shirtless saxophone player. Y'all know what's up. See, Della's going for the better movie. But
right now, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about if you're talking about just well told story, I think Fright Night.
Yeah.
But because I just think Lost Boys was leaning on so much because you had the star power, you had the score, you had, you know what I'm saying? You just had so much to lean.
They both had comedy too, but
yeah. But a solid vampire, but the more solid vampire story, Fright Night.
Fright Night. Yeah.
Fright Night.
I love them both though. I love them
both classics.
Yeah. What am I missing? What movie didn't we cover yet? Ooh.
Oh, just one more.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, look at you.
Y'all already know.
Ooh, you can't find that these days.
Y'all already know.
There you go. To your right.
Near Dark. Come on now. Huh? Near Dark. We keep late hours.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Bill Paxton as a vampire? Oh my goodness. I mean, that's another film that if y'all haven't seen it, and I know everybody on here probably have, but if you haven't seen it, that is one to definitely check out. It's a slow burner. It is like the antithesis of Lost Boys. It is just the opposite. It's like really low key, quiet. You kind of have to really pay attention to it. Watch it while you're like wide awake and not anywhere near sleepy because you'll probably, doze off a little bit. But it's a well-told love story. It's a love story. It's a vampire love story.
It comes down to that.
Yeah. And it's so well done, I thought. And I mean, the acting I thought was great. You can't get any better. I mean, you got Bill Paxton. You got you got the guy Jesse. I forget his name. The guy who plays as Jesse. But it's just a well-told story. It sucks you in. And I really enjoyed that one, man. It's like a Western, if you want to see some vampires sort of like drive along like the back roads of like the Southwest, trying to be, inconspicuous and
it's like a neo-Western, but in a modern telling.
Yeah. And I think.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff. Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen. Exactly. And I think that this movie was one of the first vampire movies. This isn't really a spoiler, y'all. This isn't really a spoiler if you haven't seen it. But I think this is one of the first vampire movies where they didn't say the word.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize that.
They didn't say the word.
They played around with it, but they never really said it.
Yeah.
And big shout out.
Yeah.
Catherine Bigelow.
Absolutely. Yes. I
mean, low key, some great movies in her filmography. that people don't necessarily talk about or give it credit for.
Yeah.
Go lie down.
Yes.
Go lie down.
Near Dark is definitely one of mine, man. When I found this DVD, y'all, I was so excited. I was like, and I lost the little book. It had like a little book inside of it too. And it was like a double CD where it had like a making of. I kind of lost that, but I got the movie though.
Yeah, you got the important part.
The important part. But yeah, it's such a good movie. I love it, and I especially love the soundtrack. So love that soundtrack. Tangerine Dream back in the 80s was doing it. I mean, they always doing their thing, but those soundtracks, like with Near Dark, Firestarter, I even like the soundtrack to The Keep. I even like that soundtrack. Yeah, I like that soundtrack. I mean, you know, it's Near Dark just has it all for me. It has it all for me. I love the like I said, just the slow burn of it all, like the mood, everything was just I loved it. I love that movie. So that's a really cool vampire movie. If you haven't seen it yet, that's one to definitely check out.
Yeah, man. You came with some great picks for this, man. For real.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. Look, there's no denying you know and you love your horror, especially your 80s.
Yes.
And I can see it's like a late 80s tone.
Yeah.
Too, but I mean, yeah, the mid 80s, it's kind of like everybody talks about it, the Halloweens, the nightmares, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like after that, after like the 80s heyday, it didn't just disappear. That didn't happen until I would say those early 90s, everything before Scream. I would say like the first half of the 90s is when it disappeared.
Right.
Yeah, those late 80s had some bangers in there.
Love them all. It's hard for me to go through any late 80s movie, late 80s horror movie and be like, I don't like it. It's hard for me to be like, I don't like it, because I'm probably going to like it.
We were talking about this before when we were talking soundtracks. Goblin's work with Fulci and with Argento. I brought up the original Suspiria soundtrack, how that score is still one of my favorites. And I mentioned I'm here in Kansas City. They came and they showed the OG Suspiria, and Goblin played live.
That's crazy.
With the score, played the score live while the movie was going on 2 nights in a row.
That's crazy.
Beautiful.
That's
crazy. Man. Great soundtracks to have.
Yes.
I like Zombie too, even though that's neither one of them, but I like that too.
You talk about the movie?
The movie, yeah, but I'm saying the score for it too.
Oh yeah. I haven't heard that one in a long time though.
Yeah, I just recently rewatched it because, you know, there's nothing like seeing a zombie doing capoeira underwater against a shark.
I love that. You know what?
That is one of my favorite scenes of all time.
That scene was so, I don't know what the word is, haunting
and original too.
It was. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that since. Nothing like it since, and it was almost kind of like, am I really seeing this thing bite this shark? Like,
it's like out of left field. Like all of a sudden, I was like, am I watching what I think I'm watching? But it was dope.
It was. It stands up to this day. It stands up.
My man Ken from Mid-Level Media has a zombie shirt with that scene on it, and I'm like, okay, that's dope. I like that.
Crazy.
I like that a lot.
Crazy. There was this guy I saw on Instagram. I forget. This guy I saw on Instagram like a couple of days ago. He had like about 500 horror tees. Wow. Like he had like a collection of them.
You know he washes in cold water.
Oh,
I'm sure most of them were black.
Anthony. I forget it. I forget his what he goes by on IG.
Is it Anthony Horan Moore?
Maybe Anthony Dreamer, something like that. I can't. I think it's Anthony. I know it's Anthony, but yeah, he had about 500 shirts on there. Yeah, about 500. I mean, beautiful, beautiful art. I was just like, oh my God. Again, we talked about like horror fans, you know, we all got our thing. Mm-hmm. You know, it's something that we are like particularly into. If it's not like collecting DVDs, it's the albums or you know what I'm saying, the soundtracks or
statues,
collecting
posters.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Tim Talks Talkies. Awesome, awesome poster collection. Awesome poster collection for sure. Thank you again for selecting those movies. Let's bang out these other questions and let everybody go home.
Yeah.
Let them go watch Talk to Me if they haven't seen it.
Right. We got no
right.
time. It's no time. It's still pretty early, at least in Eastern time. Eastern Standard
Time. Yeah. You got some time. All right. So name a horror movie that everybody loves, but you're kind of so on. You might dislike it.
Y'all, please don't get upset with me. Please do not get upset with me, y'all. But I do not like Scream.
You're the second person I heard say that. And Dell, if you're still in the chat, I'm sorry. That's his favorite.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I know it has so much love. I know Wes Craven did the first one. I know
he did all up until he passed.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, pretty much. He was involved in some way. But okay, did you see Scream as just a straight horror, or did you see it as a parody?
You know, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The first Scream was okay. I was in undergrad. When Scream. Yes, I know. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry, twins.
Go ahead.
When I first saw the first Scream, y'all, I was in undergrad. I remember in my crew, like I was the only one who liked horror movies. And so I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna go see Scream by myself. Blah, blah, y'all don't want to come. So I did. And I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay. Scream 2 came out and I saw the preview. And the preview had Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett. And so I convinced, by the time part 2 came out, I convinced my fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, you know, I was like, you know, it's like 10 alphas. It was like 10 alphas. We all sitting up there and I'm like, y'all, trust me. Scream is decent, y'all. And they got Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett. They like, they in it. I'm like, yeah, they got, you know, this one got black people in it. You already know what I'm about to say.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
We get to the movies, y'all, and it's a long line because this is Scream 2, right? It's a long line, and I'm up there. Everybody's kind of looking at me that I brought to the movies. They like looking at me like, y'all know how Tommie is about this horror stuff. So I'm looking at everybody like, you know, I'm standing in the line like, y'all gonna be happy, y'all gonna be happy. We get into the movie theater, y'all. It's loud. All these colleges, it's just loud. It's just, you know, it's just fun. Everybody having a fun time. I get up. I tell somebody I had like a little date and whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab some sweet tarts. I get up. Stand in the line. I get back. It was like a row, almost like a half a row of us. And like my fraternity brothers and sisters. Everybody just staring at me, and I'm like, I'm trying to get back to my seat, you know, because it's kind of dark. Because the movie had already started, so I'm crawling over people. I'm like, I got my sweet tarts. I'm like, I'm sit down. I'm like, I'm with the sweet tarts. I'm like, so what's happening? And the person next to me is like, they dead. I'm like, who dead? They were like. They were like, Tommie, the reason why we came. I'm looking at the thing, and by the time I look up, I'm looking at Jada Pinkett on the stage. And I'm sorry for the spoiler, y'all. I'm looking at Jada Pinkett on the stage, and she like, I turned around to some people around me. I said, where's Omar? They
did.
And then all of a sudden, the credit came on. Scream 2. I said,
they would have cold open.
I said, before the opening credit, they were like,
cold open.
They were like, yeah, Tommie, before the opening credit.
Oh my!
So you know, I'm sitting there in the seat, like this, you know,
with your sweet tart.
I'm going lower and lower into the seat with my sweet tarts. And so ever since then, y'all, Scream and left a real bad taste in my mouth, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't recovered from that since 1990, whatever year that was, 1998 or 1999, whatever year that was. And I was like, because y'all put Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps in the previews, in the trailers, made it seem like they were in the Well, I guess technically they were in the movie.
They were in the movie.
But y'all, come on now. Come on now.
You could appreciate this. They were not black horror survivors.
And needless to say, my horror movie ventures became very isolated after that, where it was just me going.
They're like, go ahead. We'll be here. We'll catch up with you later at the party. All right. So give me a title, number 4. Name a horror movie that needs more love. People don't talk about it. Maybe never made it from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, or just, people forget.
That need more love. Y'all know what? I think this one needs more love. I just watched it today. Well, not like watched it because I haven't seen it before, but I always have it playing in the background because it's fun. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
People always talk about the first one.
Is it a great movie? No. Is it as good as the first one? No. But it's so much fun. It is a lot of fun. It absolutely does not take itself seriously, and it capitalizes off of everything that we did love about Part 1. Yeah. So with Part 1, obviously we love sort of like the humor that was infused in it, and it was actually kind of creepy. A lot of parts in Part 1 were actually like really kind of creepy. Like, damn, this is actually kind of scary, but it was funny at the same time. Where they kind of upped the funny part a little bit in Part 2, but it was still somewhat subtle. It was a fun flick. I liked it. I always have it playing in the background because it's like one of those. It's kind of like that extra noise in the background just so the room won't be completely like
Yeah.
But yeah, you got me. You got me twins like that. It's a great one. It's a great one. It's a great one. I really like it. I really enjoy it. And I met the guy, y'all. I met the guy who was like the like he was like the hot guy in Part 2. I met him at a horror convention. And he was a cool guy. And I knew he played in Part 2, but I was kind of nervous when I, because at the horror conventions, I'm going up to all this, you're going up to the guy, going to the celebrities and whatnot. And before I knew, I blurted out, I was like, Part 1 is my favorite. Even though he played in Part 2. But he was cool about it because he was like, Part 1 is my favorite too. But yeah, Part 2, I like it. It's fun. I would say if you're looking just to have fun, it's obviously a zombie flick, Yeah. If you're looking just to have fun and just sit back and just laugh and be like, this is so ridiculous, I would definitely say that one.
I did that to Joey Fatone in Las Vegas. Put it this way, the club that we were in had closed. It was the night turning into my birthday, and everybody was feeding me Soko and lime shots. And we were partying with a bunch of Persian girls. So
nothing was your fault, though.
So to say I don't remember much is an understatement. But he was outside of this club at the time. It was called Rum Jungle. And he's walking out, and I went right up to him. He didn't have no security with him. He just had some girl he probably picked up in the club. I went over to him. I was like, yo, you my favorite Backstreet Boy. And for those that don't know, he's in NSYNC.
Hey, but you know what? No, it's all love. Listen. What was his response?
He's like, yeah, man, whatever. And the girl was cracking up. So, she was fangirling to be with him. Yeah, exactly. I don't remember much. Rum Jungle. I remember the club outside.
Right.
But I don't remember much else. I remember Persian girls. I remember they were smoking clove cigarettes. And everybody was feeding me Southern Comfort and lime shots.
Right.
Happy birthday. The end. 3:00 in the morning in Vegas.
That's all that matters, though. That's all that matters. Did you have
I did Joey wrong. I did the fat one wrong. Joey Fatone. Oh, man. Thank you for everyone who's still in the chat. Thank you for everyone still live streaming. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the perspectives and the opinions. We had fun tonight. I could only end this by asking this man one question. You've been through the conversation now. We had fun. My chest hurts. My chest hurts. I need more water. No more
Hey, I got
circle and
mine right
line
here.
talk. So now that you've been on the conversation, number 5, who
Yes.
would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Whoa. Jeez. Just one person?
You could give me a few, but I'll probably end up getting one at a time.
I would absolutely say, have you spoken with Shasha?
No.
Horror freak.
Yeah.
Horror freak.
I am well aware.
She gives the most dynamic reviews I've seen. I mean,
I agree.
She goes, I mean, you could tell like she like took a pen and a piece of paper or a laptop. I'm dating myself. I'm like pen and paper. but you could tell like she did some research. Like she's really, really dynamic when it comes to the reviews and everything. So
she knows her stuff too.
I would absolutely say Shasha, man. Like if you haven't spoken to her yet.
No.
Shasha.
Yeah.
Shasha.
That woman is fierce.
Yes.
She is fierce.
Yes. Definitely. I be looking at her videos. Her commentary is so good that like she definitely drives me to like go and pick up like I'll be like, oh, I need to go check that movie out. Or you know what I'm saying? Like some people in their commentary, it'd push you
to
go see, what they're talking about. So absolutely. Shasha, yeah.
Okay. That's a good choice.
Question. Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yes.
And I'll say Tommie recommended you. For sure. Oh man, I knew this was gonna be fun. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. This has been absolutely amazing, man. And thank y'all so much, man, in the chats and all that. I know it's so many
things. Had more fun than us, I think.
But to be here, thank y'all so much.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like if you like what you've seen. Hit subscribe if you want even more. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend.
Yes.
Tomorrow, since we were talking John Carpenter before, just looking forward, tomorrow afternoon, I would say about 5 p.m. Eastern, we have my friend Wes coming on. He is one of the big Whatnot auctioneers, Twice Love 22, and he revealed to me that he is a big Halloween fan.
Wow.
And yes, I could easily wait till the 31st and do it then, but I'm always different. So I said, I was about to ask him, what is your rankings? Because everybody has a different rankings, all the different timelines, ... I said, you know what? Hold that thought. Come on my conversation. We'll talk about it then. So
fantastic.
Wes will be on to do his Halloween ranking. Pop in the chat. If you want to give me your top 3, you could do that in the chat. Perfect. We could hear his reasons. Don't argue with him and say, nah, that sucks. Everybody has their own opinion. If he come up here and say, I love Busta and Resurrection more than anything else, let the man live. Let him shine. Let him have his moment. But, everybody's going to be different. There's people who say, I don't like the original Halloween because I've seen it too much. That sounds like a you problem.
You're right.
That don't sound like a Halloween problem. That sounds like a you problem. Maybe you should watch more things. Go watch a Fellini movie or something. But, hop in, 5 o'clock, not too late. You could still go see Killer or, Flower Moon and all that on Saturday night. I plan to. So, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Come join us. Couple more comments before we go. Boom, boom, boom. Halloween fan, I'm there for sure. We got Larence. Post more videos, Tommie. That's right. Tell them where they could find you, bro.
Absolutely. So y'all can definitely find me on Instagram. I go by Black Horror Survivor. And there's a link to my YouTube channel under my bio. I am absolutely going to add more videos to my YouTube channel. And by the way, so y'all know, I am working on something pretty big for the horror community. I'm working on it with a team. And I think you guys are going to like it. So I got my team together. We are working hard to make this thing happen. But I'll put it this way. You will see some great storytelling visually from me and my team.
I like that. I like that.
And it's all horror.
But here's the thing. Some people may not realize he just started YouTube like a minute ago. So it's like new. So, hey, the stuff you do on IG Shorts, put them up on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Keep the content moving.
Absolutely.
Because, like I was saying before, there's people who are on Instagram who are not on YouTube, vice versa. TikTok people who don't mess with us over here. So put it anywhere and everywhere you can just to get the content out.
Absolutely.
And then it will grow your subscribers. Not that you want to be counting that, quality over quantity.
Right.
But, just to get stuff out there because, people need to hear what you got to say.
Absolutely. I so appreciate everybody. I appreciate UKB. I appreciate everybody, man.
Yeah. Have a good night, Trini. Have a good night, Laren. Dre, hit me up. We need to catch up for sure.
Yes.
Mika, say hi to Kara. Hope she's feeling better. Definitely need to get another stream with them. Yeah, man. I'd love to see you do a podcast with them. That would be fun. For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. As I always say, go watch a movie. I'm about to.